Hi, welcome to my session, Write Alone but Not Lonely. My name's Pastor Jen, and I can't wait to share the next few minutes with you. We may write in solitude, but we're never meant to carry our message alone. Have you ever sat down to write and suddenly felt completely alone? Like nobody in the world gets you, and you're wondering, what am I even doing this for? You come away with half written documents, fear creeps in, and you question your calling. Isolation is one of the enemy's most effective strategies against writers. Ecclesiastes 4:9-10 says, Two are better than one. But so often we sit in solitary while we're writing. The reality is, though, writing is a solitary sport, but it shouldn't be done in isolation. Our calling is often confirmed in community. When we are in a writing group and we're having regular conversations with people around us and they know our writing style, they're able to speak in to our writing style. They're able to give us pointers and critique, moments where even when we doubted our message, they reflect back to us the heart that we had when we originally started. Isn't that amazing? God may give you the message in private, but He often confirms it in people. So, what happens when we stay isolated? Well, sometimes confusion creeps in, right? Is this any good? We question our writing ability. We question whether or not even what we've put on the paper is good enough. Is it even going to make a difference? Maybe you've been writing so much and you're thinking, do these words even matter anymore? This sounds like so much like what I wrote last year and the year before and the year before. And I want to encourage you, yes, your words matter. Even when you feel like you're saying the same thing over and over and over again. When I was in pulpit ministry, every week I always came away thinking, man, that message sounded a lot like last week's message and the weeks before and the week before. But what was happening was I was sharing the gospel every week. And so the gospel does sound a lot like the message the week before and the week before and the week before. And so I want you to think about your message as every time you share it and you share it in different words, it allows a new audience to be able to come in and connect with you. Just because you shared something 2 years ago doesn't mean that it's no longer useful today. There are new followers today who need to hear that wisdom from 2 years ago. Because you know what? They were not there when you had that epiphany, but they needed to get to where you are today. Another thing that can crush us when we're in isolation is fear, overthinking, and imposter syndrome, right? Who am I to write this? If people only knew the truth, if people only knew what I struggled with, they would not be wanting to read my writing. But let me encourage you with this. Fear means forget everything and run, or it means face everything and rise. Imposter syndrome is a great tool of the enemy. And he likes us to think that we're not good enough, that we don't belong somewhere. And who are you to write that story? There's so many other people that are better than you and more qualified than you to write this story. But let me assure you, there's only one of you. And there is only one expression, the way you express your faith, your writing, your experiences in this world. There's only one of you. And the world needs your voice. Because, let me tell you, are you ready? Are you ready for this? Really? Okay. You are the fire hose to somebody else's burning building right now. Your words matter so much more than you think, than you feel, than you even imagine. And God gave them to you for such a time as this to raise you up and for your words to make an impact in this world today for His kingdom, His glory, His honor. So I encourage you to let your fear take you to the places where you face everything and rise. Whatever it is that you're thinking you're afraid of, look at it. Ask the Lord, Lord, what do you want me to know about this? What do you want me to do about this? What action do I need to take? We do not need to stay in fear. The other thing that isolation does is it can leave us stagnated. Half-finished manuscripts, endless editing, no finishing. We feel like we just got to get it right. The words on the paper just have to be just so. And because we can't find the words, well, we'll just put that manuscript aside. We'll just put that one aside. We'll put that story aside. But you know what? Those stories that are sitting in your closet, in my closet as well, that are half written, half finished, the Lord wants us to finish them. And He wants us to finish them because, like I said, somebody else needs them. Isolation doesn't protect our calling. It can paralyze us. I remember when I was in the height of my addiction, and that addiction crippled me. It paralyzed me. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to be with people because maybe they would know I was high or I was under the influence. And sometimes in writing, we think, I'll just not put anything out there. I'll talk about the call. I'll talk about the writing. I'll talk about what I want to do. But you know what? I'm not going to actually put anything out into the world because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just not good enough. Whatever it is, that isolation paralyzes us. And God doesn't want us paralyzed. And that's why there's power in writing in community. It allows us to be seen. When we are in community, it's a safe space where your voice is heard. Small group peer-to-peer critique is so valuable. It's like a developmental edit and copy edit all in one. It is encouraging. It is where the greatness is pulled out. It is where, you tweak those lines so you get it just right. It's where wordsmithing happens. It is incredible to be part of a small group. When you're in a small group, a critique group for writing, it also sharpens you. So I don't just mean like your writing, I mean your ability to critique and to look at the manuscripts and to see the grammar, to see where it doesn't fit. When I first started in this journey, I couldn't tell you where a comma went. Sometimes even a question mark and an exclamation mark, I would get mixed up. But since I have started on the journey, I'm actually able to now pick up where a comma should go and what is an adjective and what is an adverb, all of these things. And why? Because in the group, we learn from one another, we're sharpened. It's not just about pulling things out of our writing, it's learning our craft and honing it, honing it so well that we're able to then teach people how to go back through their manuscript and look for areas where they can show instead of tell, and areas where they need to tell instead of show. I was overjoyed. I was in critique group one day, and I actually, for the very first time, had to say to somebody, "You have overshown here. We need to do a little bit of telling." It was fantastic, but it's from being in these critique groups and learning how to do it. The other thing that being in a critique group does, it allows us to be sent. It allows us to create accountability, to meet the deadlines, and encouragement to finish and to finish well. When we're in writing critique, we do not compare ourselves to one another. It's not about competition. It is about pulling the greatness out of one another, holding people accountable. You know, I have deadlines, and I'm able to say to my group, you know, I really need to have this done within 3 months. I have people in my writing group that say, "Jen, how is that going? Do you have that finished yet? I can't wait to read that next part." And I do the same thing for other people. It is amazing. Proverbs 27:17 says, "As iron is iron." And that's what a good community looks like. Community doesn't dilute your voice, it develops it. What happens when you're not alone? Your clarity replaces confusion. Your courage replaces fear. Momentum replaces procrastination. Your message isn't just for you. It's for the other person on the other side of your obedience. I'm going to say that again. Your message isn't just for you. It's for the person on the other side of your obedience. That's a powerful statement. There was a meme on Facebook one time, and it's a picture of a person holding water buckets heading back into the fire. And the caption was, "I've been saved to go back in to save some." So we are writers to share so that the person on the other side of our obedience is able to grow in the grace and knowledge of the Lord Jesus Christ. Sometimes you don't need more talent. You need someone to help you push to achieve the next step. So, in closing, who is walking with you in your writing right now? Do you have a writing partner, a group, a coach? Before you leave today, message one person or join one space. I really want to encourage you to do that. You may write alone, but you don't have to feel alone. The message inside of you deserves community around it to shape it and strengthen it, to mold it. Find somebody, find a group. If you need some help finding a group, please reach out. And finally, let us consider how we spur one another on. We want to encourage people. We want to encourage not just those who read our writing, but other writers. We want to be each other's biggest cheerleader. Some of you have been carrying a message in isolation, and today God is saying, it's time to bring that message into community so it can be born. Remember, where truth is born, purpose is found. God bless.